Hey everybody, I'm back again, and your eyes do not deceive you. This is labeled part 1. For those who were watching this yesterday and you're like, well, Argent, you already did part 1. Well, see, there's a lot of technical issues. There was a lot of bugged OBS mechanics. Just because it's an older game and sometimes getting older games to run properly is kind of a pain. There was also just, I was just kind of low energy. I got interrupted like half an hour in, which if you're going to be playing something like this, you really want to like go for a little while at least. But anyways, I'm here now and we can enjoy some Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth, slightly higher energy edition, and less of me just trying to figure out the controls. Okay, so I'll start talking once we like kind of get into the game. There's just a lot of other shit that has to happen first. Let me see, it looks like it's lagging a little, so let me just slightly turn down my bitrate. Let me just turn down the bitrate a little bit to, I don't know, 1700. See if that helps. There we go. Let me just make sure the stream is working. Yep, stream is working okay. Looks good to me. So, yeah. Once people start, let me just check if the stream chat is working. Yep, stream chat is working. So I can just look at it the whole time I play the game. Okay, so we're going to start this on Private Investigator. So yeah, sorry about it, about restarting from the beginning. I just failed a whole bunch yesterday and low energy.
I can fully see. My last case opened in me a new fear, a real fear, a fear of myself, of what I am, and of what I've always been. All that I was is now lost. Hope, purpose, pleasure, all meaningless. I now walk in the shadows between worlds. And it is there I have finally glimpsed upon what lives
Take a sip.
in the dark corners of the earth.
But yeah, as I was saying yesterday, I really liked the graphics of this. This was back in 2006, and I think it still looks okay. I mean, obviously the polygon count is kind of low. You know what it kind of reminds me of aesthetically is Second Sight. If you've never played Second Sight, I really recommend it. But, I mean, this is just kind of a generic asylum scene, but they had to come from somewhere, and Lovecraft was kind of one of the big ones that the whole man goes crazy from seeing the truth thing came from. And there's the text of the opening monologue. I also just did some research. Oh, so Jolly Crocodile asked, will you be doing this tomorrow? I'll see what time I get home. My friend and I, Abstract, are probably going to hang out for a while. I'll see what time I get off work, what time I get home, how much energy I have. The ignorant, the deluded are, I think, in a strange way to be and... Oh, okay. So I'll once we get into some actual gameplay, and there's not just a bunch of story stuff going on, I'll talk about the game, I'll talk about Lovecraft, that sort of thing. Just this is a very narrative-driven game, so. Just at the moment... Yeah, so at the moment, Jack is a police detective. I get confused because he becomes a private detective after the opening monologue. So, yeah, it kind of confuses me a bit.
Robert, this had better be good. What's the beef?
Sorry, We had to call. This fellow will only talk to you. Name's Victor Holt.
Don't know any. Victor?
He's the leader of this weird cult that moved in here a few months back. Got about 20 followers. They've been causing trouble all over town. Stealing, going through folks' trash, hanging around outside people's homes at all hours. No one ever presses charges, though. They're a screwy bunch. They've got the local scanned. So tonight, we were just passing, you know, doing the normal rounds, when we heard gunshots fired from their property.
Gunshots? Hang on there. No one said anything about gunshots. Who have we got out here?
Yeah, just me, Nichols, and a few new recruits.
Well, that's
You might want to bring in some more guys.
Lead the way, Robert. I better check out this crazy...
Is this like a 1920s version of Waco, Texas? Are they going to send the FBI in, light the building on fire, and kill all the cultists, women, and children? Okay, I thought that wasn't a bad reference.
Something must be wrong.
So I fixed the bug keyboard mechanics.
Evening, Jack. Glad you could join the freak show.
How's it looking, Henry?
I don't like this one bit, Jack. Check the alley on the right. Victor Holt's over there in the shadows. He's waiting for you.
Can we trust him?
Nope, but we got you covered. You better take it slowly, though. They're a bit twitchy.
Are you using the fan fix patch? I'm using, I think, like one of the fan fix patches. I'm just gonna see how it goes, because I played this game sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So, what was I gonna say again? So here we go. We're inside the house. Yeah. So initially, when I was playing this game, I got completely confused as to what the hell was going on, because the default control for action, interact, is S, and you may be going, why the fuck is it S? I've never heard of a game where it's S before, but yeah. So that is Shoggoth? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. There's Cthulhu, and there's, I think that's Sub-Niggurath. I'm not sure, but anyways. They worship the great race of Yith, and we'll talk about them when I have a moment.
As I continue to translate the Miqotic fragments, I become more and more eager to contact my Yithian masters. These beings truly are gods to us. Their intellect and knowledge surpasses ours in ways impossible to comprehend. I know now just how insignificant mankind is in the universe, a doomed and simple species thrown up as a side effect of an experiment of the elder things. It is a blessing that such flawed creatures as ourselves have such a short and limited future.
Honestly, if DSP raged because Action Key was mapped to S, that's legitimate, because it's the only game I've ever played where it's mapped to S. So, let's see. As with all Lovecraft things, we have this evil brainwashing cult that worships strange beings from another dimension. Let's see here. God, it's hard to know where even to start.
That symbol's strange. Looks almost like a flaming eye.
Yeah, Jolly, I'll talk about the race of Yith when I have a minute. There we go, there's a Yithian there. Actually, Arcanhan, I was about to say that. I was thinking about that today. It is what it is, nothing I could do, but I digress. Could be like the thing of a H.P. Lovecraft novel, because there's nothing you can do. Nothing I can do. Cthulhu's gonna eat me. It is what it is.
Empty an old one. His body is covered in tattoos, and they were carved into his flesh with something sharp.
Yeah, so there's a evil brainwashing cult in most
Unarmed.
Lovecraftian stories.
Expecting you, Mr. Wong.
Don't worry, I'll go into detail about it. This is a fairly lengthy game, so.
He recognized me.
Oh, I can't pick up the shotgun.
He's dead. But key could come in handy.
You picked up an inventory item. Oh boy, an inventory item. So you have to be careful in this game. So as you may have noticed, there is no interface in this game at all. There's no health bar, there's no sanity bar, there's no stamina bar. There's none of these things. Instead, what you have is, if you go here, you can see your character, and you have injuries that you can heal using a bunch of other stuff. The other one is your sanity meter. So as you go crazy in this game, and you go crazy from seeing disturbing things, seeing disturbing things like dead bodies, elder ones, anything that's just kind of unnatural or disturbing will raise your insanity meter. And the higher your insanity meter gets, the more the game starts freaking out. Like, you'll just start having, yeah, and if you get high enough on the insanity meter, your character will shoot themselves in the head. And it's pretty funny the first time it happened. If you keep it, because in this game, you have to manually reload. So when you're, one second, I just have to trigger this cutscene.
I don't understand.
If your gun's empty, your character will try to shoot themselves with an empty gun. So that'll buy you a couple extra seconds.
Why would they want me here? It must be an old case. Something I've forgotten. Some screwball with a grudge, maybe. Think. I've gotta think.
So everyone probably knows the twist in this game. I'll probably state what the twist is later on.
These photos and clippings.
But it's, yeah.
I just don't get it.
Let's see here. So yeah, so they've been following along, whatchamacallit, Jack Walters for years. The people who worship the great race of Yith. So I'll talk about the Yithians in a minute, just once we get to the next area. So I don't think there's any, was there anything else here I needed to do?
Another key.
Oh, a key, okay.
This should fit the door across the hall.
How did you know that? Did you read
It's
the script?
unlocked. For nutcases, they seem quite literate.
Of course they are. Yeah, because I've been reading, I have the Necronomicon, which is like obviously a collection of Lovecraft stories for Audible. So I've been reading through that. So I got through some of the ones I previously couldn't get through. Like, I personally really didn't like any of the Herbert West stuff. The Herbert West stuff is kind of lame, in my opinion. It's kind of like the most pulpy thing Lovecraft did. And I mean, to be fair, everything Lovecraft did was pulp, but it was especially so.
He must have fallen and crushed his skull.
Okay, so we got a scary asylum. Careful not to, sorry, a scary medical facility.
Seems like these cabinets are used for storing chemicals and medical equipment.
So now we'll see some actual cosmic horror stuff. So, wow. It's, sorry guys, it's kind of hard to keep up with all this stuff. Maybe I'll just start stopping a bit and explaining things, like what they're a reference to. So... Okay, so there's a race in H.P. Lovecraft, not the Yith, but the Mygo. It's either Migo or Mygo. I'm gonna just say Mygo. There's this race called the Mygo, and the Mygo are from a planet called Yugoth. And Yugoth is Lovecraft, because Pluto had just been discovered, so Lovecraft thought of Yugoth as being either Pluto or the next planet out from Pluto. And they are a fungoid-based life form, and they Migo. Okay, so it is Migo. So the Migo can fly in outer space. And so then what you Right. So what they do is they go to Earth and they harvest metals from the hillside, and there's a couple cults who follow them. And if you become one of their cult members, what they'll do is they'll take your brain out and put it in a jar, and the fluids they put in basically makes you immortal. And the Migo will take you with them to various different planets.
This tunnel feels like it's going to collapse at any moment.
It's kind of interesting because there's three, I guess you could say, or four, I guess we could say four civilized races in Lovecraft. That is races that resemble something that you can like identify with as a civilization, or kind of being like, obviously none of them are vaguely humanoid, but at the same time they're at least recognizable. And it's the Yith, the Migo, the Elder Things, because they don't have a name for them, and the Deep Ones. So this is the Yithian, who are probably the least evil people in race in Lovecraft, and that says something. The Yithians are like kind of lawful neutral, I'd almost say, at least by Lovecraftian standards. Oh, Serpent Men. Okay, right. I don't even remember the Serpent Men, to be honest. So this is a portal that opens up to Yith, I assume. Why the Yithians need a portal, I'm not sure. It doesn't... Maybe it's explained later. But like, the Yithians don't teleport themselves. They have other rays. It's confusing because the Migo and the Yithians look kind of similar. I mean, nothing's like really has a canonical way of canonical image, so I find I get them confused sometimes. They just look kind of similar.
So, it's been more than 6 years since I entered that strange house in Boston. But to me, it was just 5 months ago. Amnesia, the doctors called it. Probably brought on by acute mental stress. I remember investigating the far side of the library. There was screaming. According to the police report, they'd searched the house for hours, only to find me later collapsed on the floor. When my eyes opened and I spoke, my colleagues recoiled in fear. There was something unnatural in my voice and blank gaze. They committed me to an asylum, where I was diagnosed with severe schizophrenia. As it became clear that I presented no danger to either myself or others, I was released from the asylum.
So he was a police detective. He's a private detective now.
My activities in the 6 years that followed. The accounts I've been able to piece together show much of my time was spent in travel and study. I maintained a fanatical infatuation with the occult, delving deep into volumes concerning witch cults and dark legends, often in languages unfamiliar to my own. When I reawakened 5 months ago, exactly 6 years after entering that house in Boston, no trace was left of what had been a secondary personality. I was myself again, or at least what I believed myself to be. Return to normal life has been a painful process. In recent days, my dreams have been plagued by cosmic landscapes, and I've become fearful of my own reflection. I'm beginning to remember things from that day, more than 6 years past, that I've told in my thoughts.
Jack Walters.
Hello, Mr. Walters. My name's Arthur Anderson. I need your help finding a missing person.
I don't take that kind of job.
Did you get my package?
Hold on.
Worst private eye ever. Look at how shitty his office... Well, actually, his office is huge. How do they get these huge offices? I never get that. Maybe space was just really cheap back then?
What exactly do you want from me, Mr. Anderson?
It's one of my store managers, you see. Brian's his name. Brian Burnham. Nice lad. He disappeared recently from the First National grocery store in Innsmouth.
Innsmouth? Never heard of it.
It's a small fishing town on the coast, not far from Argent. I'd like to see you in person before you leave.
Hold on there a minute. I didn't agree to take this. What the hell? I'll be here all day anyway.
Okay, let's read this. I have a new client, Mr. Arthur Anderson, the regional manager at the First National grocery store chain. It appears that the First National grocery in Innsmouth was recently burglarized, and its manager, one Brian Burnham, is missing. From what I have been able to gather, Burnham is something of a young rogue, a friend of the family. Mr. Anderson gave him the job as a favor. Burnham is looking like the prime suspect for the robbery, but there are a few things that don't add up, not to Anderson and not to me. For instance, why would Burnham force an entry into the store when he had a full set of keys, free access to the cash register, and the combination to the back office safe to misdirect any investigation? If that was his plan, why did he disappear? I'll probably be doing this for another hour or so. Following my conversation with Mr. Anderson, I found out what I could about the ancient town of Innsmouth. For generations, the crumbling seaport and its people have been shunned by neighboring communities. Outsiders are unwelcome there, and there are some superstitious tales of a strange element in the town's oldest families. They are of mixed blood, so the stories go. Whatever that's supposed to mean, the usual Hicktown prejudice, no doubt. Let's see here. Yeah, so like I said, I'll get into the Yithians like a bit. I just haven't really had much time to talk, just because a lot of story stuff's been happening. But yeah. So Innsmouth. Yeah, this whole thing is like a big sloppy love letter to Lovecraft. They managed to cram in a lot of lore. It didn't really seem like forced to me.
Why lock the gates?
Keeps out wanderers looking for work. You want those folks like that interfering with our affairs.
Was the bus from Arkham always this empty?
Aye, and we prefer it that way. Not many come to Innsmouth.
But what about trade? Surely the port needs business.
Innsmouth has the means to look after her own.
Actually, guns work against a lot of the Lovecraftian monsters. If people can like stay sane long enough to shoot them, most of them you can actually just gun down.
End of the line.
I'm sure modern tanks and weapons would probably kill a lot of them. Take a sip. Okay, so we'll explore Innsmouth in a minute. I'm just going to go save, and then we're going to look at this shitty hotel. Okay, let's see here.
Aye.
My name's Jack Walters. I'm just visiting.
You don't say, sir. Gilman. Charlie Gilman. I run this here hotel of an evening.
You got any rooms?
I'd not rightly know that for sure. All habits clean the rooms at present. Them's from out of town can leave a horrid
Uh-huh. Wonder what that could mean.
Talking to this fellow's getting me nowhere, and he's more than a touch creepy. If I need a room and I'm desperate, I'll come back.
So this is Innsmouth. Probably the shittiest place on the East Coast. For those of you who don't know the lore, I'm not going to spoil it just yet.
The sign says, Innsmouth Poorhouse, in memory of Lady Warrens.
But in general, Innsmouth is kind of the center for a lot of really shady stuff. Kind of the central location for most of Lovecraft.
I'm looking for Brian Burnham.
Can't help you.
Do you know the Burnham lad? He worked in the First National.
Get right as soon as I know him.
Let's see here. What was I thinking of again? Something involving... Right. So Arkham is kind of the main place in the Lovecraft myth. So Arkham is kind of a small university town on the East Coast and somewhere in Massachusetts. So, what was it called again? Yeah, so Arkham's a small town in the East Coast of Massachusetts, and notably there... What the fuck was that? There's modern... there's Arkham University and Arkham Asylum. Arkham University is... That is really creepy, that sound. Arkham University has a copy of the Necronomicon and is kind of a center of most of America's like esoteric knowledge.
Delivery truck for the
If you go there, you can learn about all kinds of different interesting stuff. You can learn about magic. You can learn about the old elder things, the gods. You can learn about all that kind of stuff at Arkham University. Arkham Asylum is specifically tends to be where people who go insane from exposure to the elder gods go. Uh-oh. Okay, gotta get out of the way. I'm gonna sneak past this asshole. Let's see here. Oh shit. Oh shit, oh shit. Okay. I'm gonna deke this guy out. There we go. And we're gonna go see what's over here. So yeah, so there's Arkham Asylum, which obviously is where they took the Batman thing from. Is a reference to that. Let's see here. Objects that can be pushed will have left scratch marks on the floor. Okay, cool.
These shelves look light enough to push.
So there we go. That'll secure that door at least for a while.
But nothing of any real interest.
I think this is the... Is this the grocery store? I'm not sure. Yeah, this looks like the grocery store. Okay, that was quick. Medical boxes. Okay. So I can use that medical box. I don't need to heal myself just yet. It's probably there if you got caught by the constable and he beat the crap out of you.
These posters are everywhere.
Okay, so just a normal grocery store. Yeah, most Lovecraft stuff is set during Prohibition era.
The till's empty. Nothing of interest here.
There's a destroyed door.
There's a bottle of bootleg rum and a wooden handle. A typewriter. Input an empty safe. The drawer is empty. Stock reminders and general notices. Nothing of interest. No real surprise.
Oh shit! Uh-oh. Guy's breaking down the door. I think the exit's over here. Oh shit, he caught me.
What you doing snooping around here? Get out!
Oh.
What have you got there? Trying to take evidence from the scene? Hand them over.
How was he able to catch me? That was weird.
The police clearly don't want me snooping around. I need to be more careful.
Okay, so I don't know. How did he detect me from like the other side of it? I don't fucking know. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Yeah, so Arkham is the center of esoteric knowledge. Herbert West went to medical school there. Yeah, so they went to, yeah, so Herbert West went to medical school in Arkham. A lot of just the characters in the various stories studied there or have been there. It's one of the only places where there's a copy of the Necronomicon. Now, what the Necronomicon is the Necronomicon is a book written by the Mad Arab Prophet. I forget what his name is exactly, but the Mad Arab Prophet was wrote like a lengthy book in which he describes all this stuff. Like, the Elder Things, he talks about Cthulhu, he talks about all that kind of thing. Oh yeah, Herbert West went to Miskatonic, you're right. Okay, sorry, yes. Miskatonic University is in Arkham. Sorry, that's why I was getting confused. Abdul Al-Harazad, yeah.
The glass has been broken, and there's scratch marks on the wood.
How the fuck do I get out of here?
It won't budge.
All the doors are fucking bugged. Oh, I see what I have to do. Okay, I get it now. I have to sneak out past the police officer. Okay. How the fuck did he find me?
Snooping around here. Get out! Them things don't belong to you. I'll be taking them back.
Okay.
That alley leads around the back of the First National.
This game is bugged and unfair. I don't know what I'm supposed to do there. I can't get out of there in an easy manner. Maybe I'm supposed to not blockade the door? I think I'll try that. You have to open the hatch behind the counter. Okay, thank you. Thank you, stream chat. People are saying... So yeah, I guess it's time for me to start talking. Yeah, so sorry, it's Miskatonic University in Arkham. So Arkham's kind of this town. The Necronomicon was actually disproven several times in Lovecraft stories. It said there was no Shoggoths on Earth, and it turned out to be very false. Can you bring a cat with you? I hear that fish hate cats. I wish I had a cat with me. My cat's not around because he's a bastard. So what to start out with? Talk a bit about Lovecraft or the Great Race of Yith. I guess I'll talk a bit about Lovecraft. So for those of you who don't know, where's the hatch? Let's see, you're supposed to go out, open the hatch. Oh, there we go. I see now.
There's a bottle of bootleg rum and a wooden handle.
Right, because that's where they hid the rum. I see now. Oh. Well, that's not pleasant. Am I injured? No, it's story driven, so I didn't get injured from that. Cool. Pick up some more healing supplies.
I can feel the air through holes in the brickwork here.
Okay, let's see.
It looks like a diary. It's gotta have some.
Yeah, so
clues.
H.P. Lovecraft was a American horror writer who lived in the I think it was Massachusetts he lived in. It was Massachusetts or New York, but anyways, he lived up in the in New England, and he was a schizoid. He was a very strange, very depressed, odd person, and because of that, he, for whatever reason, decided to become a writer. And his writing was kind of the what was it again? His writings kind of reflected his very schizoid view of the world, like his very kind of depressive, dark way of looking at the world. And I gotta say, a lot of his stories do feel like what it feels like to have severe OCD or anxiety disorder. So, let's see here. Ammo will always carry across the next chapter. That's good.
Newspapers lay scattered in molding heaps. Nothing of interest.
Ammo is extremely rare in this game.
Newspapers lay scattered in mold general
There's
notices.
virtually no
They're all
ammo.
dated 1846.
Shadow Out of Time is probably the most lore significant one. Did the game just freeze? Why can't I move? What the fuck? Okay, let me try alt tabbing out and back in and seeing if that fixes it. And it fucking crashed. What the fuck? It fucking crashed. I don't want to go and do all that shit again. This game has no autosave. Oh my god. Fuck. Oh, fuck. I really don't want to go back and redo all that. Oh. Okay, I'll see how fast I can do this. It's literally nothing I can do. Literally, Cthulhu's tentacle came down, and, yeah. Does it have checkpoints? It might. Let's see here. Bugged crash mechanics. Okay. Nope. There's no checkpoints. Resets you back from where you died. Come the fuck
The
on.
door's bolted shut.
Seriously? Oh, fuck. You know what? I'm sorry, guys. I can't play this. I'm not going to go back and redo that. So, yeah. I'll try to figure out something else to do as a Let's Play in the future. This is just not functional enough. But, yeah. Actually, I might see if I can even return this game on Steam, because that really kind of irritates me. Like, I know it's kind of petty to just rage quit after one crash, but if there's no autosave, and this is a game that's pretty difficult, so there's no autosave, the game is hard, and if it's gonna, like, crash on a regular basis like that, I just can't play it. So, sorry, guys. I'll try to figure out something else out. Sorry about that. Anyways, I hope that was somewhat enjoyable. I'll talk to you guys later.